get fog, you know. He's like, he can get very, very angry, you know, about nothing. You know? So this is what I was going to do. This is what I have to show to perform you know, downstairs, in the space downstairs, because like we live in a space that has been closed down in art, and we are the only, say, artists.
That's what the newspapers said.
Yeah, that's what the newspapers said. But the rest of the people that live here, they are local people, you know, and it's not, they are not very in favor of art. You know, they have jobs with the government, you know, with the community. You know, they work in the zorg sector, it's health sector, but they don't work with their own money and, you know, on their own responsibility. So they hate artists, so to speak. They are of the lower class, lower petty bourgeois class, you know. So it's for us, it's hard to do anything and break the situation where all the subsidies have been withdrawn, and you know, we're the only ones surviving things. We have a little history of people closing down the shower, the hot water, so we can't shower, you know.
Stealing the shower head.
Stealing the shower head.
There was a shower head was gone, I put a new one in, and in the evening, within 12 hours, it disappeared.
Yeah.
Talking about violence.
Yeah.
And cold water. Suddenly there was cold water only.
Especially when the girls arrive, you know, when the girls arrive or the models arrive,
The
they
models.
have to shower.
I just
Not for themselves.
You need the models. We don't like to live it, but we need the shower for the models which we paint. Because he built the house in which he wasn't allowed to live.
Oh,
so
yeah?
they put a shower in there, and then they argued it's for the models because you know they need the shower. Not for us. We don't live
The boys like it.
Or maybe I should show the film, Modellen doen. Oh, she was here, the model, but that was at Christmas.
Yeah, but it's not about nude girls or something, it's about...
the Modellen douche.
Yeah. So I just mentioned this, you know, not to trigger another story or story of love, but just to tell that how hard it is, you know, actually to, as a surviving artist, that, you know, so what he did is publish, he thought, well, let's talk about violence, you know. So he published this little thing like, Dalstar, which is me, is going to talk about violence at 1730, you know.
In the garden.
In the garden. So arrive here like 1630, an hour before, you know, shower, you know, shave myself, you know, have a little drink, you know, and prepare, like put on some new clothes and stuff. And I look out the balcony, and what do I see? On the place in the garden where I'm supposed to perform, I planted an apple tree, a little apple tree. Why? Good question. Why an apple tree? Because the apple tree is the beginning of paradise, you know? And I'm not talking about Adam and Eve, I'm just talking about an apple tree, planting an apple tree. I planted it 3 years ago on an area, on a little garden, which was completely devastated by the war. Glass, bullets, stones,
Petrol.
You cannot imagine how this place was bombarded where you are now, you know, how the soil was polluted by the war. So I don't want to plant an apple tree in a polluted garden. So it took me 3 years to get this little garden, you know, like clean, you know? And you can still see it. So I planted the apple tree. I look out the window today. There is 4 yellow pots standing around my apple tree.
Van de Albert Heijn, hè?
From Albert Heijn, from the grocery shop, you know?
People save up for those with little tickets they get when they buy groceries for a certain amount of money.
So it's not about the yellow pots, or, you know, I'm not against yellow pots or something. No, I'm not, it's not the pot itself. It's not the pot itself, it's just the fact that the pots are standing around the apple tree, you know, like in a Celtic arrangement, you know. But where's my place? I was supposed to perform there. On a blue table, you know, with a red basket with a chainsaw in it. And a yellow chair, primary colors, right? So,
Primary colors.
so I go to question, you know, and there's people working in the garden. You know. And you keep me coming, you know. it's like easy to look through the people when you have a little dramatic experience, right? You can see if you have seen it played by Shakespeare, for example, you know that how people can lie and you look right through it and how to deal with it. So, you know, I go to, what's happening? I see some yellow pots. Did you know anything about that? Oh no, let's go check it out. So I walk with this lady who works with the community, you know, who's the informal leader of the garden. You know, she's the informal coordinator of the garden. You cannot do anything without her consent.
We got in trouble. We got told off for carrying guns in the garden and wearing balaclavas.
That
would be intimidating to a little boy who actually took the initiative to steal one of the guns.
He stole it. Pointed it at me. And then the grandma took the gun away from the boy and said, "Don't play with it." So yeah, and I said it's fine, it's just plastic. And the grandma was like, "No, he shouldn't play with it."
And she lodged a formal complaint to Danny.
Yeah, the other lady then came up to me and said, "Look, it's not that we want to say that these things are forbidden here, but we're kind of wondering if it's necessary."
Yeah, that's good. Well, yeah, you can think about it.
But anyway, so the garden is like the political arena where the artists deal with outside world, you know? Like, it's really true. Like, for example, I remember like a few incidents, you know, in the garden. Like, I've been working in this garden for maybe 12 years, you know? Cutting the paardenbloem. What's the paardenbloem? The horse. This is yellow.
This yellow one.
Yes.
I put all the dandelions out. I hate dandelions, you know? I put them out with a special thing because they spread everywhere. So I do that. Doing this, you know, behind the gate is 3 little boys lined up. It's 2005, you know? I will never forget it. They say, and they look at me and say, "Oh boys, what are you doing here?" "Homosexual!" Oh, get away. It's stupid, you know? So I get up, you know, I say, "What is this, you little faggots?" You know? Immediately, the window goes up, you know, and there's this other voice of, "Who's that? You? If you're talking to my little brothers, you have to deal with me." You know? What? Close the window. So, "You faggot!" You know, I say, go to this guy. Then another window goes up. You know? "Well, if you're really looking for trouble with the family, you deal with me." You know? Like the big brother, the bigger brother. It's like this, you know? This is the situation. If you have a big mouth, you have to deal with the bigger brother. It's all in the family. So, you know,
it might look like a kind of peaceful countryside here, but even the public garden is actually a battlefield.
Never read
So I remember
I'm in
this.
milk
So
food.
I was very polite to the lady, you know, and it ended up with her saying, so she tells me, I said, "What do these pots, yellow pots, do here?" She said, "Well, why don't you just talk about it? You know? You can talk to the man who put the pots there." I said, "But I don't have a job with the government. I deal with my own money, and I deal now. I'm an artist. You know? I'm an artist. I have to, it's now. You know? What do these pots here now?" So I said, "You're my witness. I'm going to take the 5 pots, the yellow pots, and put them back on the table where they were. You know? I restored justice." Law. I go back to the situation before the provocative incident happened. Because nobody asked me what my little apple tree did there. You know, nobody talked to me. It just happened. The petty bourgeois just do that thing. You know, reading the bulletin by this guy. It happened exactly at 17:30. The moment I was performing, these 5 yellow pots were there. You know, I don't say he's in the conspiracy. You know? No, I don't say it's too abstract. You know?
You're from here. I'm looking at you.
Everybody draws his own conclusions. You know, I'm not saying that the CIA.
I am a local after all. Don't trust the
It's
locals.
true, it's true, it's true.
You know,
Hans is
He's a foreigner.
yeah, I put it in the internet, so, and nobody showed up except for you. But you're not locals, right? you haven't read the bulletin or whatever, you were just invited. But then there's Hans, but he's not suspicious at all. He's like, he doesn't know anything about it. He's like an objective person, you know, from another town. So anyway, you know, I removed the pots, I put them on the place, you know, and then I said, well, she said, well, but you should have talked to, you're not a Democrat, she said. So I'm a Democrat, but a different Democrat than you are. I don't have time to wait for a week and have a meeting about it and put it down in my agenda. You know, I want to settle it now. So this is restorative justice. I restore an old situation. Not just justice, no, restorative judgment. Go back to the situation how it was before. So, then Danny comes home, or Danny walks out with the papers. We're going to